Hey sports fans, do you like wine? Well, we've got the show for you. This is Let's Wine About Sports, a show where we talk about wine and sports simultaneously. From the classic Cabernet Sauvignon all the way down to the grapes that you've never even heard of before. Oh yeah, we cover it all. And we'll talk about a little bit of sports as well. Football, hockey, collegiate, women's sports, it doesn't matter. We're going to talk about it all, and we're going to whine about it all. So join me Monday at 8 p.m. on IU Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
How's it going, everyone? Hello. It's your boy, the SoCal Saint, back again with another new episode of the IE Elite Wrestling Show. It is your direct feed for all that is professional wrestling on the network that is your direct feed for all that is sports, IE Sports Radio. I do apologize if you saw my last tweet. I know I'm getting a late start here, guys. I do apologize, but your boy's feeling under the weather. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice, but I am very congested. I took a lot of medication, try and get this knocked out ASAP because I got to get back to work starting tomorrow at noon. So I'm trying to feel a lot better, because my voice is needed for my job as well as it is for here on the number one podcast network, IE Sports Radio. But bear with me. I do apologize. Bear with me, and we're gonna ready to get into a lot of wrestling news because a lot of stuff actually went down over the weekend. Not just in WWE, but in New Japan Pro Wrestling as well. Just in general, wrestling. A lot of wrestling news has been coming across the wire here. AEW, WWE, and like I said, in New Japan as well. So speaking about AEW, let's get into some AEW news real quick. / Ring of Honor news. According to the head honcho of AEW himself, Tony Khan, who also owns Ring of Honor, he announced that Ring of Honor will be starting their weekly television programming on March 2nd. That's Thursday, March 2nd. Ring of Honor will be coming back to, I can't say television, but they'll be back to having weekly programming starting Thursday, March 2nd, which is just next week. But the only way to see Ring of Honor television is if you subscribe to their streaming service, Honor Club, which is the Ring of Honor video library service. That is $9.99. So if you're a Ring of Honor fan and want to a way to watch old school Ring of Honor pay-per-views, events, matches, whatever pay-per-views, all that good stuff, Honor Club is the way to go. It's the only way to go, really, because the Ring of Honor library is not available anywhere else except on Honor Club. So starting next Thursday, March 2nd, Honor Club will be presenting weekly Ring of Honor television. So that's something to look forward to. And speaking about the Ring of Honor, not Ring of Honor, but speaking of the AEW locker room, apparently this past week, Thunder Rosa, this is according to Fightful.com, that's the source here. Fightful.com reports that Thunder Rosa, the former AEW Women's Champion, and the entire AEW Women's roster had a meeting this past Wednesday, last week, where Rosa did a lot of apologizing about her previous run with the company. A lot of the rumors that was surrounding Thunder Rosa's previous run in the company was there's a lot of rumors of her sandbagging intentionally opponents, being stiff, intentionally hurting her opponents, just being an all-around asshole, basically, in the ring. And that the apparently Tony Khan set this up because they want to move forward. You know what I mean? She's owning up to the terrible things that she did back in her previous run, which was literally just like a year ago. And wanted to move forward. So apparently everything went well, according to what Fightful reports, that everyone was really receptive to Thunder Rosa's apologies. And maybe we'll see Thunder Rosa back on AEW TV a lot sooner than later. So that's one thing to look forward to, because Thunder Rosa is a talented athlete. She was definitely one of the mainstays of the AEW roster, women's roster anyway. And it would be crucial. Excuse me. For AEW not to lose her to another company. You know what I mean? Even with the rumors of her type of work that she was doing, I mean, like, it could have been she just wasn't getting along with those women. Who knows? Whatever the case is, it's water under the bridge now, and the AEW women's roster and Thunder Rosa are now moving forward. So that's something that came out over the weekend as well. And tonight, if you're planning on watching AEW Dynamite on TBS, Tony Khan is tweeting since, I think, Monday, that there's a huge announcement, quote-unquote, huge announcement that's going to be made tonight on AEW. I have no inclination of what that huge announcement is. I've seen some of the dirt sheets reporting about it, of what it possibly could be. Who knows? I guess you just have to tune in tonight to AEW on TBS, and we'll all find out together. And once I find out, I'll tweet about it. If you follow me at SoCalSaint on Twitter, and we'll see what this huge announcement could be. I guess, whatever. Who knows? I don't know. I'm not the biggest Tony Khan fan, so we shall see. Let's skip over to New Japan Pro Wrestling. New Japan Pro Wrestling had a big event this past Saturday night, along with Elimination Chamber, which I'll get into, which was WWE's last stop on the road to WrestleMania, which also took place this past Saturday. But New Japan Pro Wrestling had a big event in San Jose, California on Saturday night called Fight for the Valley. Or Fight in the Valley, or Battle in the Valley, Battle in the Valley. Ugh. Battle in the Valley. And one of the big matches that was on the card was Switchblade Jay White of Bullet Club, who already lost a Loser Leaves Japan match to Hikuleo at a New Japan event in Japan. And now this match, what is to be his final appearance with New Japan Pro Wrestling, was against Eddie Kingston, AEW's Eddie Kingston, in a one-on-one match. A stipulation was added late last week before the event Saturday that the match would be loser leaves NJPW. So whoever won that match could never compete in NJPW again. And the results of that match were as follows. Eddie Kingston defeated Switchblade Jay White in that match. So the rumors are true. Jay White is gone from New Japan Pro Wrestling completely. He lost a Loser Leaves Japan match, and now he's lost a Loser Leaves NJPW match. So Switchblade Jay White is no longer a part of the NJPW roster. And at the end of the match, the fans were very gracious to Jay White. Jay White was attempting to say his goodbyes or give a goodbye speech when he was attacked by the son of WWE trainer Fit Finlay, David Finlay. Beaten down, knocked unconscious, and David Finlay gave these parting words to Jay White. Excuse my language. Fuck your era. And fuck San Jose. Or fuck California. Something like that. Like, ugh. I took a little person. I was that last line. I took that personally. Excuse me, because I'm from California, born and raised in California. So, excuse me, David Finlay. Fuck you, sir. Fuck you. But man, the rumors circulating around where Jay White is going. He is a free agent now, and he could possibly be headed to WWE or All Elite Wrestling, AEW, who knows? Maybe even Impact. A lot of places are about to feel out for his services, that's for sure. I know I was reading up another rumor. I think this was on the Wrestling Observer Radio from Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez. They were reporting that the minute that they found out that Jay White's contract was coming up with NJPW, WWE's creative team already just got to work on ideas to pitch to Jay White to try and bring him in. So he's a high priority. He's definitely a high priority signing. Another high priority signing that apparently rumors going around all since late last week is that Kenny Omega, one of the mainstays of AEW, one of the creators and founders of AEW, along with Cody Rhodes, excuse me, and Matt and Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks. Kenny Omega, I don't know exactly when his contract is coming up exactly. I've heard that it's up in April of this year. I've also heard that it's up next year around April. But apparently he is a huge priority signing for WWE. WWE wants to sign Kenny Omega away from All Elite Wrestling. So take that with a grain of salt. A very, very small grain of salt. Because who knows if WWE would be able to talk Kenny Omega away from All Elite Wrestling. Speaking of All Elite Wrestling, just to go back, I actually have some really nice news I want to share with you guys. Of course, a few weeks back, we talked about the untimely death of Jamin Pugh, a.k.a. Jay Briscoe, of the Briscoe brothers, one half of the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions. He was involved in a fatal car crash that took his life, and the driver of the other vehicle that struck his and his young daughters were injured in that car accident as well. But I have some good news that came out about 2 days ago. I come across the wrestling news site that Jay Briscoe's daughters are now home. They are out of the hospital. They're not out of the woods yet. They're still going to have to do a lot of therapy and physical therapy and maybe go back for some surgeries. But for now, they are out of the hospital and they are home with their mother and their brother and the rest of the Briscoe clan. So, God is good, guys. Prayers do work. It's really nice to see some good news coming out of such a tragic story that Jay Briscoe's daughters are now home and recovering. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, since that was such a big part of the show that we talked about a while back. Also, another medical update. Pro wrestling legend and WWE Hall of Famer Jerry the King Lawler. Jerry the King Lawler is now recovering at home after having a stroke. Lawler is 73 years old. He underwent a surgery, and he is recovering in a Florida hospital at his home, near his home, or he was recovering at a Florida hospital before. Now he is home recovering from that stroke at his home in Fort Myers, Florida. So, just great news to hear. God answers prayers. So, it's great to hear the news about Jay Briscoe's daughters, and it's good to hear news about Jerry the King Lawler. They're all at home recovering now, so that's good news, guys. Good wrestling news. It's great to hear. And in another, we saw earlier this year the retirement of the great Muta, wrestling legend from Japan. Had his final match just a little less than a month ago in Japan with teaming up with Sting and Darby Allin of AEW. And in another, this just happened just last night or yesterday morning, depending on where you were in the world watching it. But it was the retirement match for another wrestling legend, Keiji Muto. Another wrestling legend out of Japan, Keiji Muto, had his final matches last night in Japan. It was a dual show between New Japan Pro Wrestling and Pro Wrestling Noah. And in the main events, it was Keiji Muto going one-on-one with Tetsuya Naito. And Tetsuya Naito defeated Keiji Muto. Muto got on the mic and stated he wanted one last match with one of his arch rivals, Masahiro Chono. The legend Masahiro Chono came out and obliged. They had an emotional match where Masahiro Chono submitted Keiji Muto, and that is a wrap on the career of Japanese wrestling legend Keiji Muto. Seems like a lot of guys are going to be retiring here soon. Crazy. I guess, well, we're going to take a quick little break here while I try to recuperate, and we're going to get into some WWE news here shortly, okay? So let's take a quick break. Let's hear from some of our fellow members of the IE Sports Radio family, and we'll be back with the IE Elite Wrestling Show.
Hockey fans, I'm Adam Kernick.
And I'm Zach Puplis.
Together, we are the newest version of Hockey Talk on IE Sports Radio, The Neutral Zone.
Zone.
We love hockey, but we also know it's not everyone's first sport. So we want to make this show as much for new fans as for the diehards.
Whether you can name all the Swedes on the 08 Red Wings Stanley Cup team, or if you can't tell if Varlamov is a goalie or the latest trendy vodka, we're here to help. With facts, figures, and outrageous fans, we bring you all the hard-hitting hockey news you can handle, while still keeping it fun and on the rails. Well, mostly.
So tune in every week as we go around the hockey world, from college to Canada, the minors and the majors, and everywhere in between.
So bring your cellies,
And your one-timers.
you wicked wristas.
And be sure to protect your 5-hole.
Catch the Neutral Zone every week on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
We promise not to pick on the Arizona Coyotes every episode.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the IE Elite Wrestling Show, your direct feed for all that is professional wrestling on the network that is your direct feed for all that is sports, IE Sports Radio. It's your boy, the SoCal Saint, and like I said at the top of the hour, I'm fighting a cold, so I do apologize if I sound really funny right now, but it is what it is. I didn't want to miss it. I had to reschedule my show that was actually not related to the cold. The cold came up after I had already rescheduled the show, for today. This is not my normal time slot on Wednesdays. Usually you can find me on Tuesday afternoons at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, or 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time if you're listening to me on the west side of things, on the west side of the country. But anyway, so we'll get into some wrestling news here pertaining to WWE. Real quick, I did want to mention something that I forgot to mention when I was talking about Battle in the Valley a few moments ago. Also at the event, besides Jay White having his final match for New Japan Pro Wrestling, Mercedes Moné, formerly known as Sasha Banks, had her first official match for New Japan Pro Wrestling, where she defeated the first ever IWGP Women's World Champion, Kairi, a.k.a. formerly known as Kairi Sane in WWE. Kairi lost the title to Mercedes Moné, and apparently was a very great match. About a 27-minute great match is what I've read. I haven't seen the match personally myself, but Mercedes Moné, in her very first match with NJPW, has won the IWGP Women's World title. So congrats to her. And also, Kazuchika Okada is still your reigning defending IWGP World Heavyweight Champion by defeating the Ace Hiroshi Tanahashi in the main event of Battle in the Valley. So, Okada still champion, Mercedes Moné new IWGP Women's World Champion. And let's get into some WWE news. This one I thought was hilarious. This is WWE related, but this actually comes in my neck of the woods here. I live in Texas. We have different counties, just like California has different counties. I think everywhere has different counties, but I shouldn't have to explain that to y'all. You should know that by now. But here in Texas, in this particular part of Texas where I live, I fall under what is known as Tarrant County, and I came across this news actually while I was at work the other day. So I thought I'd bring it up, and this is also according to PW Insider, because I found a little bit more on it. A man by the name of Marvin Jackson has filed a lawsuit against WWE, and he did this last month on January 12th before the District Court of Tarrant County, Texas. Jackson alleged that he lost hearing in his left ear at WWE WrestleMania 38 in Dallas, which WWE was here in Dallas last year, due to the show's loud pyrotechnics display. The lawsuit is requesting a jury trial and seeking a monetary relief of more than $1 million, No, let me do that again. It's requesting a monetary relief of more than $1 million. Yes. Including damages of any kind, penalties, costs, expenses, prejudgment interest, and his attorney's fees. Can you believe that? Of all the stupid-ass, frivolous lawsuits that anybody could sue anybody for, I feel like this one has got to be pretty close to the top, because you're going to not only a WWE live event, not only a pay-per-view event, but it's the biggest wrestling event of the year. It's the Super Bowl of wrestling. WWE WrestleMania. WrestleMania, you don't think there's going to be loud pyrotechnics there? You don't think there's going to be explosions and displays and just all-out extravaganza at the event? Have you never seen a WrestleMania before? You just decided one day, you just woke up and was like, oh, I'll go buy a ticket. I'm pretty sure this lawsuit is going to go nowhere really fast. So I just thought I'd share that tidbit to you all. That just seems so absolutely ridiculous to me. That's just crazy. That's like, I don't know. That's like me suing the Texas Rangers if I got hit by a foul ball because I couldn't catch it. You know what I mean? Like, you put yourself in the situation. You put yourself there. You bought the ticket to be there. You know, it's your fault that... I'm sorry. It's your fault that you didn't plan ahead. Like, you didn't bring earplugs or whatever. You know what I mean? So, you know, like... Yeah, exactly. Like, it's just... I don't know. It's so crazy. That's such a frivolous thing to even... sue someone for. Just what? Anyway, more WWE news here. Apparently, excuse me. Oh god, my voice cracked there. Reported by, this is actually coming from financial website Bloomberg. Bloomberg is reporting that the asking price for WWE that Vince is asking. This is the asking price for WWE because the sale of WWE is still a thing, that is still happening. Just because I haven't talked about it in a few weeks doesn't mean it's not still happening. This is still on the cards for WWE to be sold. And the asking price apparently is $9 billion. $9 billion is what Vince McMahon is asking for the purchase of WWE. That's the asking price of WWE, $9 billion. And according to Bloomberg, there's still many potential buyers that have been mentioned so far. It's anyone's guess at this point who might become the new owners of WWE. Still in the running to purchase WWE is the Disney Corporation, UFC's parent company, Comcast, and the Saudi Arabian government is still in the running. And WWE's current CEO, Nick Khan, has stated that they expect to sell this year, and the hope is to sell before they begin serious discussions for their next TV/streaming deal. And it's crazy. So Vince is asking $9 billion for the company, and which is actually 38% greater than the $6.5 billion market value of the company itself. So he's asking for way above what the market value of the company is. And I'm sure there's people who will pay for it. I mean, it would be crazy enough, but I do see Disney being like... Disney keeps getting brought up because Disney's been brought up for years now, and I really feel like... Because the company, WWE, likes to compare themselves to Disney a lot for some reason. And they've brought it up. I've heard Stephanie drop that name. I've heard Vince drop that name in interviews in the past. So, I mean, it could very well go that way. If they're willing to pay that money, we could start seeing, wrestlers at Disneyland, or people dressed like wrestlers at Disneyland. Who knows? You can get your picture taken with Luke Skywalker, Iron Man, and The Undertaker at Disney's California Adventure. What a time that we live in, guys. What a wild time that we live in. And speaking of WWE, the road to WrestleMania continues. The last stop on the road to WrestleMania was this past Saturday night in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. WWE Elimination Chamber. And we do know a lot of more matches coming out for WrestleMania out of this year. We'll start with this. In a intergender tag team match, Edge and Beth Phoenix, the Hall of Famer couple themselves, defeated Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley in a 2-on-2 match. Very good match they had. In the women's Elimination Chamber match, Asuka outlasted Liv Morgan, Nikki Cross, Raquel Rodriguez, Natalya, and wow, I'm having a brain fart on who the last person in that match was. Natalya, Liv Morgan, Nikki Cross, Raquel Rodriguez. Wow, I do apologize. I can't remember who the other person was, but the main point is Asuka was the last surviving member of the Elimination Chamber match for the women, and she has punched her ticket to WrestleMania. In another match that seemed really ill-conceived by the way it ended, by disqualification, Bobby Lashley defeated Brock Lesnar due to Brock Lesnar basically hitting Bobby Lashley with a low blow while he was stuck in the Hurt Lock. So Lashley defeats Lesnar in the rubber match by disqualification. So, I mean, if you really want to count that as a victory, then Bobby Lashley has won the feud with Lesnar 2-1. And in the next Elimination Chamber match for the United States title, Austin Theory survived Bronson Reed, Damian Priest, Johnny Gargano, Montez Ford, and Seth freaking Rollins to retain his United States title with a little assistance from Logan Paul, who showed up out of nowhere at Elimination Chamber by hitting a clothesline, a huge clothesline on Seth Rollins, and then a curb stomp, allowing Austin Theory to get the pinfall on Seth freaking Rollins. And Austin Theory is still the reigning, defending United States champion. I'm pretty sure with the Royal Rumble and now this, for certain, it hasn't been announced yet, but it looks for certain that Seth Rollins and Logan Paul is a go at WrestleMania because of this. And in the main event, the ultimate underdog, Sami Zayn, versus the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, Roman Reigns. Roman defeats Sami in a hell of a match. 32 minutes they go. Hell of a match. And Roman is still the champion going into WrestleMania. So that's what happened at the final stop on the road to WrestleMania Elimination Chamber. And this is what the landscape of WrestleMania is looking like, guys. So this is what we got so far match-wise, official match-wise for WrestleMania. Right now, thanks to her victory in the Elimination Chamber match, it will be Bianca Belair defending the Raw Women's title against the Empress of Tomorrow, Asuka. It'll be Asuka versus Belair for the Raw Women's title. For the SmackDown Women's title, Charlotte Flair defends the SmackDown Women's title against Rhea Ripley. And for the undisputed WWE Universal title, Roman Reigns defends the WWE Undisputed Universal title against the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Those are the 3 official matches for WrestleMania. What other matches that are most looking likely for WrestleMania that are still yet to be announced? Like I said, Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul looks like it's a go. Another match that looks like it's still on the cards that hasn't been announced yet. We'll see how it plays out here in the next couple weeks. Is Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Usos for the Undisputed Tag Team titles. And I also feel like another match that hasn't been announced yet. But he's made. I hope this is not the way to go, though. I really hope this does not happen at WrestleMania. This sounds like a horrible fucking match. Apparently, Omos, the big 7-foot Nigerian giant, Omos, has issued a challenge to Brock Lesnar, and Brock Lesnar will be responding to the challenge this coming Monday on Raw. I really, really hope that is not the case. I do not want to see that. That sounds absolutely horrible. Horrible. That does not sound like a good match. And that seems like a downgrade for Lesnar. You know what I mean? Like a huge downgrade, like main event-wise. That does not sound like a main event match for Lesnar at all. But we shall see. I really don't know. Another rumor going around is that the Intercontinental title will be decided in a triple threat match at WrestleMania, with Gunther defending the Intercontinental title against both Sheamus and Drew McIntyre. That's another rumor going around. We shall see if that actually comes to fruition, because I also heard months ago that Gunther was going to go one-on-one with Lesnar. So, I mean, who knows what Triple H has planned in his mind, but these are the next crucial weeks, because we are now 38 days away from WrestleMania. We are just 38 days from WrestleMania. 38 days, guys. WrestleMania will be here before you know it. The biggest show of the year. It's the end-all, be-all. This is where a years-long feud comes to fruition, or comes to a conclusion. Really, this is also the beginning and the end for WWE. When you really think about it, this is the end of a season and the beginning of another for WWE. Every year, this concludes one chapter and starts another. Will Cody Rhodes, quote, finish the story at WrestleMania? He came back to the company last year at WrestleMania. He was on the hell of a run with Seth Rollins. Had a hell of a Hell in a Cell match with Seth Rollins where he wrestled an entire match with a torn pectoral muscle, bruised down his arm and chest, proving that he's one tough SOB. He went home to recuperate, to get it repaired, trained, got cleared the day of this year's Royal Rumble, and won the Royal Rumble match. Punched his ticket to WrestleMania. And now he has to finish the story. He has to do the one thing that no member of the Rhodes family has done, and that's become WWE champion. Dusty Rhodes never had the opportunity. His brother Dustin, a.k.a. Goldust, never had the opportunity. Cody has that chance. And it only takes one opportunity to be the one. Is Cody the one that's going to put an end to this monstrous reign, this monstrous run that Roman Reigns is on right now? Is Cody going to be the one? You got to tune in to WrestleMania, either night 1 or night 2. It has not been announced when that match will be taking place. I would assume it would be night 2, because that's the biggest match of the card, so you want to save it for the second night. But yeah, so at WrestleMania in SoFi Stadium, Los Angeles, California, nights 1 and nights 2, April 1st and April 2nd, live on Peacock. Or if you got tickets, live in SoFi Stadium. Whew, man. I know we covered a lot in such a short amount of time. I'm feeling a little lightheaded. I think I need to lie down, guys. But I did not want to miss the show for you guys. I do apologize for starting late. But I want to go ahead and just let's bid adieu for now. The SoCal Saint will be back, regularly scheduled time, Tuesdays, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Follow me on Twitter at SoCal Saint. That's at SoCal Saint. Follow the IE Sports Radio family at IE Sports Radio, and you'll follow the links there. Check us out, guys. This has been the IE Elite Wrestling Show. Thank you for tuning in. This is your direct feed for all that is professional wrestling on the network. That is your direct feed for all that is sports. IE Sports Radio. Hopefully I won't sound like all congested next week. So, take care, guys. Thank you for tuning in live. Thank you for bearing with me. We made it through. I appreciate it, guys. Take care. Peace.